What is up, my fellow weirdos, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to your weekly reading / Aquarius new moon readings. So what is up? I hope you guys are doing well. If you're new here, my name is Tawny Michelle. I am not your average love, light, unicorns, and twin flames tarot reader, so you are not going to find all of that here. I do keep it real with you guys. So basically, in today's weekly reading, we are going to go over what is happening with this Aquarius new moon like we always do astrologically, so stay tuned for that if you want to see how this week is going to affect you and on a collective level. And then we are also going to go and pull a few cards. So let's go ahead and get into why this Aquarius new moon is a big deal, why it's going to be affecting everybody, and how it will affect everybody this week. Sorry, I wanted to plug my mic in, so if I'm a little bit louder now, I'm sorry about that. But so this Aquarius new moon is happening on Friday, this coming Friday. I believe it's the 24th or 25th. So basically, this Aquarius new moon is where the sun and the moon are meeting up in the sign of Aquarius at 4 degrees and 22 minutes. So what that means is, well, the weird thing about this is it's 4:22, and then it's going to be squaring Uranus at 2:44 Taurus. So it's like backwards, like 4:22, 2:44. So in numerology, 2 is all about integration and balance and sitting in between two worlds, kind of like the High Priestess card. And then 4 is like the Emperor. It is about our foundations, our structures, our security, and, you know, being more disciplined and building foundations. So that is very, very interesting. Plus, not to mention, we are in the year of 2020, which is a 4, but it does have the number 22, which is a master number in it. So once again, balance, making decisions that will, making big decisions that will change our lives, coming to big crossroads that will change our lives, and building the structure and the framework for our lives for the next decade. So that is kind of the numerology of 2020. But I think this Aquarius new moon is kind of reflecting that with the numbers, and then also the huge Saturn and Pluto conjunction happening at 22 degrees Capricorn that happened a couple weeks ago. That was a big deal. So, and this is the first big event after that Saturn and Pluto conjunction. So it's kind of like new beginnings. And this week is where you can really start feeling that newness of a new year, is where you can start feeling a new start or a new beginning happening, because I feel like January kind of felt like it was still part of 2019 or the last decade, because we've been doing so much clearing out and karmic cleansing and karmic detoxing just in this month of January alone, and it's been a lot. It's been a very heavy month. It's been a very dense month, and it hasn't really felt all the way like a new decade, a new year, etc., etc. So this is the time where it can start feeling like a new year. The closer to February we get, the more it starts to feel like a new year. And I will be coming out with the February all signs video this week, and I will be starting to do the February readings this week, so make sure you're keeping a lookout for that. But this new moon is going to square Uranus in Taurus. Okay, so and then also Mercury is going through a square with Uranus and Taurus as I'm filming this right now, which can really kind of have our communication, our messages, and our dialogue with other people very scattered and all over the place. Mercury is kind of forcing us to think outside of the box and think about our own values in Taurus and our own needs and our own resources. And Mercury in Aquarius is kind of like, well, what's good for everybody? What's good for the group of people? What's good? What's the right thing to do for humanity? And so on and so forth. And so this is where I feel that there may be some out of nowhere surprising conversations or messages that come in this week for a lot of people. Plus, that new moon is going to be squaring Uranus and Taurus. So this is going to be a week where nothing is really predictable. So I can sit here and tell you what I think may happen all I want, but with Uranus, you never freaking know. Okay, so this is going to trigger something in a lot of people that I feel is going to be very Aquarian in nature, since it is an Aquarius new moon and we are moving into Aquarius season. This is going to trigger something where people are not going to be held down by other people's values or other people's morals or anything like that. This is going to be a time where people are going to start wanting to be liberated in places where they feel like they have been restricted, or people are going to want to break free of places where they feel like they don't have the power, they don't have the resources they need, where they don't feel like their needs are met, basically. So, and that's kind of what I feel this conversation going on with all of the planets is really talking about this coming week. It is really talking about wanting to break free, wanting to be liberated, wanting to shaken out of a situation, wanting to worry about not only the individual, but also other people and how it's going to affect other people. So kind of like an example of this is if you go through something that's rough and basically you don't want to see it happen to the next person either. So this is where we could see a lot of people standing up for things that they believe in, standing up for individuality in some way, and expressing that loud and clear through communication in some way. So that is kind of what I feel like is going on here this week with the energy. But as always, I will be giving energy updates throughout the week over on my Instagram. So make sure that you are following me on there if you are interested. So let's go ahead and see what is going on with all of you guys. Okay, so basically we are going to do a short little reading. It's a pick a card reading. So what I want you guys to do, actually, hold on. Let's do this a little bit more creative. So, okay, so this is pile 1, number 21, Beyond the Mind, the Heart Beats. This is going to be the pile 2. This is number 6, Shock of the New. And pile 3, Inner Trust, number 2. So, pick one of those piles, 1 through 3. If you need to see them again, we have Beyond the Mind, the Heart Beats. Then we have Shock of the New. And then we have Inner Trust. I would like more feel which one you look at, and then it opens like your third eye, or you feel pressure in your third eye. Not necessarily go by what they look like or what they say. Yeah, so pile number 1 is this, pile number 2 is this, and pile number 3 is this, okay? So there will be timestamps down below, you guys, and we're gonna go ahead and move to pile number 1. Okay, so pile number 1, you guys picked number 21, Beyond the Mind, the Heart Beats. Beautiful card. This is usually about paying attention to your feelings. This can be too wrapped up in your mind or seeking answers for something. This can be not paying a close enough attention to your body and what your body feels and what you feel, and really just paying attention to your emotions. Maybe you've been really disconnected, or you will be feeling very disconnected this week. So it's really important for you to tune in and figure out what it is that you are feeling instead of what you are thinking, because our instant behaviors go into like thought, and what we think about things in the mind can prevent us from doing a lot of different things that we actually think feel good. So, and that's kind of what I'm picking up here for you. I'm also picking up that you've been holding back from creating something because of your mind instead of just creating it. And if you look at this card, she has like a nest with eggs in it on her hair, on her head. And so I feel like you've been kind of in this shell, not wanting to come out. And the universe is like calling you to do something. So let's see what else we have. Okay, so we have the thread. We have the 8 of Wands, swiftness. We have the Sun. And we have meditation doesn't mean you have to sit still. It can be a quiet walk in a garden. Okay, so, so you've been busy. Okay, you've been busy. You've been really busy, and that's why it's kind of like your mind's been busy. I don't know if you've necessarily been busy. Maybe you have, but your mind's been busy. And there's something that I feel like you're not wanting to face with the thread here. The thread is basically like when you hear someone say like,
cord cutting, you know, like cutting the thread or the cord between you and another person, which I particularly don't believe in, because I feel like every situation and person is meant to teach us something. And if we are not liking what that person is teaching us or what that person is bringing, then we haven't learned the lesson. We need to learn the lesson behind it. So I personally don't believe it, and I don't really think you can really cut away karma anyway, but that's just my own personal opinion. So I feel like I almost am getting a sense that you've been wanting to start something, you've been wanting to create something and do something with the Eight of Wands and the Sun here, but you feel like it's too much, like you don't know how you're going to get there with the thread. You feel like you can't see the end in sight, and so you're like, just why even bother, why even try, okay? And that's because you're thinking, once again, too much. So I feel like pile one, what's being said right now is that you guys need to meditate, you guys need to get back in your body, because you are doing way too much in your mind and not enough in the physical world. The Eight of Wands is about doing. This is something that I feel for you with the thread here and the Sun and the Eight of Wands. This is something that's like that you're being drawn to on a soul level, okay? That you are being drawn to on a soul level. Something that's subconscious, like something that you subconsciously want to do, but your conscious is like blocking you from it. And I'm really getting this as subconscious because of all the black. It's almost like you can't see it. But this, like, your soul is being called, like your soul is literally like just being pulled to do whatever this is. So do it, you know what I mean? But you have to get out of your mind this week. You have to get out of your head. You need to meditate. And like it says, meditation doesn't mean you have to sit still. It can be a quiet walk in a garden. So you need to actually do and focus on what you feel. Focus on the breeze on your skin. If you're in the bath, focus on how the water feels across your skin. Like, sit on the ground. That's why I've been sitting on the ground in my videos lately, because it helps me connect more. It helps me connect to my intuition more, okay? Because I'm connected to my body. And if I'm not connected to my body, I can't really feel what I need to feel, right? So that's kind of what I'm getting here for you guys. This is like a connection to the body that needs to happen here. Also, I feel like things are going to be moving very fast this week. Things are going to be exposed this week to you. I don't think it's really about anyone else. I think it's more about you, okay? I think that things are going to come in really quickly, and you're going to have to like do instead of think about it, because the universe is pushing you out of that comfort zone in order to have you physically doing something instead of in your mind 24/7, if that makes sense. So that is what I'm getting for you guys, pile number one. Hopefully that ends up resonating. Definitely let me know down below if it does, and we're gonna move on to pile number two. What is going on, pile number two? This is for those of you that picked this this card, which is Shock of the New. So this is number 6, okay? So let's go ahead and see what you guys have here. So you have the Three of Pentacles reversed, you have the Queen of Wands, you have the Self. Ooh, wow, that's powerful. This is powerful, okay. Then we have know that you can start late, look different, be unsure, and still triumph. Okay, so know that you can start late, look different, be unsure, and still triumph. Wow, this is a lot of like pushing you to, like, the first reading was very much about getting out of your comfort zone, and that's kind of what I feel like this one is somewhat about too. So I kind of feel like something is happening this week. So with Shock of the New, this is always about, and these cards I always find to be extremely accurate. Like, these are this Oracle deck, which is the Sacred Rebels Oracle by Elena Fairchild, is literally, or Alana Fairchild, not sure how you pronounce it, but this is literally like one of my favorite decks, because just the book is incredible, the cards are incredible, like just everything about this is incredible, and it's always so accurate. But Shock of the New is about an experience that happens and you're kind of like in shock. You're not really sure what to do. You feel like you're in this phase of like in between, because you're just so like shocked that this situation happened. You know what I mean? You're like, wow, I can't believe it. Is this real life? Am I tripping? Am I daydreaming? Am I dreaming? Like, what is going on here? So I feel like something could happen this week, or something recently did happen, where it may feel like it's shocking, or it may feel uncomfortable, or it may get you out of your comfort zone. And I honestly feel like this is something to do with your job, or it could just be other people in general, because we have the Three of Pentacles here, which is very much about collaboration, what you have in the works, or this could even be about like a work project, but it's reversed. And we have the Queen of Wands and the Self. So you're going solo at something, I feel. And it may not necessarily be your choice, though. That's kind of what I'm picking up here. You're kind of being forced to go out on your own with something, and you're kind of like in shock. Like, how am I going to do this? Like, is this even going to work out? Why is this happening to me? Blah, 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 blah. You're just in this state of like utter shock, and you can't believe it, and you aren't sure whether it's bad or good. But these cards are telling me that this is happening for a reason. Pile number 2, oh my God, this is happening for a reason, because we have the Queen of Wands here. Okay, you need to own this. You need to get confident about what you're doing, because it is like you're on the right path. You're never on the wrong path. And this is happening for a reason. This is like some kind of divine intervention that's like, yo, you know that you would have been better off, but you wouldn't do it. So now the universe is like, chop, we're done. You know what I mean? Now you have to do this, right? And so with the Self here, this is such an interesting card. You're definitely having to be more independent about something this week, because I kind of feel like something happens that pushes you out of your comfort zone. And I think this card is so interesting because we have like all these splits of the Self. There's like these different parts of the Self, right? And if you're into shadow work, you know that. And so I also feel that this is happening in order for you to get in touch with old parts of yourself that didn't think that you could do it, and also push you into this other part of yourself that can do it, right? Because we all have these different parts within ourselves. We all have these different like personalities and whatever you want to call them, these different archetypes or whatever in ourselves, where, you know, part of us is, you know, thinks that we can't do it. Like, part of us is like our inner child, our childhood self that never really grew up. Another part of us is, you know, what happened to us from different traumas and just like different things like that. So, you know, you may have this part of yourself that's like, I can't do this because of XYZ. Like, I don't have, like, I'm just not strong enough, or I just don't have enough power, or whatever the case may be. But then you have this other part that wants to do it. But maybe for a long time, the part that didn't want to do it because it had a lot of doubts was overruling the other part, right? Well, this is pushing you out for that other part to come out and be like, yo, okay, it's time. And then that's kind of where I'm getting this card as well. Know that you can start late, look different, be unsure, and still triumph. So this is saying that you will still triumph no matter the situation. This is saying that just because you're different, or just because you're, you know, out of the box or doing something different, or because you've wasted so much time and you're just now starting, or because it doesn't look good right now, doesn't mean that you're not going to triumph. Okay, pile number 2, that is basically what I am seeing for you guys. Hopefully that makes sense. Definitely let me know down in the comments below, and we are going to move on to pile number 3. What is going on pile number 3? This is for those of you that picked number 2, inner trust. Okay, so this really reminds me of the High Priestess, which is number 2 in the regular Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And so I kind of feel that you guys may be torn between either a decision or a situation. You're just kind of torn, and you're not really sure how to go about it. And I haven't pulled the other cards yet. I'm just really looking at this card. I feel that you're someone that really depends on other people. Whether it's like physically or just emotionally, whether you realize it or not, I feel like it's somewhat subconscious for you. I feel like you're scared to be alone, and I feel like you you're intuitive, but you don't trust it, okay? You look at this as it's just like it's a part of you that you don't want to accept about yourself, okay? And I feel like you may be feeling vulnerable lately for some reason, or just this week you're feeling vulnerable for some reason. And so that's kind of what I'm getting just off this card so far. So let's see what else you guys have for this coming week. Okay, so we have Thanatos. Hopefully I'm saying that right. We have Nine of Pentacles. We have Queen of Pentacles reversed. And we have love is the flower, you've got to let it grow. Very interesting. Some of you guys, I feel like, are possibly grieving over something. Possibly a loss. It could have been physical, okay? Also, I feel that you guys are, and if it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be a loss of life, although it could be. And I feel like this already happened. This is not something I'm saying is going to happen. But you are in a phase, this one's a little bit deep, okay? So you are in a phase where you have realized that inner trust is crucial. You are in a phase where you've had to get so vulnerable. You've had to literally relinquish all control. You have had to completely trust the unknown. And you may still be in that phase, or you may be starting to come out of that phase. So, with the Queen of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles here, for some of you, this could be a job. This could be something physical that you lost, like a person or a car or something along those lines. But either way, what I'm kind of seeing here with the Nine of Pentacles and this other card is love is the flower, you've got to let it grow. He literally has sunflowers in his hands. So it's asking you to, instead of coming from a place of lack and death, which is what Thanatos means, it's about death, it is about endings, it is about traveling into the underworld and relinquishing control, and just surrender. And I feel like you're kind of at that point, and now it's asking you to trust yourself enough, like, because I feel like you're kind of at the point where you may feel alone, or you may feel all you have is yourself, but you've learned such a valuable and hard lesson that other people don't always learn. Because of that darkness that you've went through, you now know love. You know the opposite of love. Therefore, you know love. So to get out of this situation, not to get out of it, but to get through this situation, not only do you need to trust yourself, which I feel a lot of you already kind of have that down, I feel that that you need to love yourself, and that you need to come from a place of love before anything else can change or transform within your life, okay? You are worthy of the light. You are worthy of love. You have to let it grow inside of you, okay? And that is what you are gaining from possibly a situation where you felt that you lost something, or you felt like you were lacking in something in some way, shape, or form. So I know that's kind of deep, but that's what I'm getting from you guys. Like, this is just the ultimate surrender. The ultimate surrender to whatever it is that you're resisting, whatever it is that you're fighting, in order to find love, in order to find that peace. And I feel like you're like literally right there, okay? If you're not already there. But this week, I really do feel like if a situation ends, or if you have to let go of something, just let it. Like, whatever goes, let it go. Whatever comes, let it come. You know what I mean? Just let it flow the way it's supposed to. And let yourself feel love, even if it's just for yourself. Nurture yourself, care for yourself. Okay, you don't have to, just because you may feel alone doesn't always mean that you are alone. And you always have yourself. You know what I mean? You always have yourself. And love never dies. You guys, love is energy. Love never dies. So whatever you felt that you lost, it's not love. Okay? You just may be experiencing this a little bit more than you're experiencing love. But once you bring that love back, that is how you heal from this. The love helps you heal from whatever it is that you feel like you're lacking, if that makes sense, or whatever it is that you feel like you lost, if that makes sense. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Definitely let me know down below if this resonated and this was your guys' reading. I'd really love to know. And that is what I am getting for you guys, pile number 3, and that is basically all the readings. So hopefully this video resonated with you guys, and hopefully you liked it. And yeah, I love you guys. Have a great week, and I will see you guys in my other videos. Bye.